Hello, twin flames. This is Victoria, and I'm here with your daily energy check. I hope you guys are doing great. Hope you had some fun with the solstice yesterday. It's still in the air. The energy is definitely quite intense, and it can play out differently for your journey. For me, so far so good. We'll see how the rest of this week goes. But yeah, it's bringing a lot of insights and opportunities for, it's like food for thought, it's not necessarily directly guidance for action, but it's definitely in that space where it's like, oh, that's interesting, I never thought about it that way. Those kind of moments, so notice those, write them down, even if they don't seem like something you want to pursue right now or you have time for, whatever, they are important. And that's the message I'm getting right now, that it's important to note them down, and you will know the time when it's, you're gonna see that note. It'll be like, yes baby, yes, right? Or at least it's gonna be captured in your memory, in your consciousness, when you write it down for yourself. Okay, so today we're gonna do the classic read. Got the Cosmic Journey Oracle with me to begin with, the tarot of course, and at the end we're gonna get some guidance from the Angel Therapy deck. So let's see what we have for Divine Feminines first of all. Number 14. Find your star family in this cosmic game of hide and seek. Yay! Look how it matches my colors of my shirt. I love this card so much. It's a reminder for you guys, and take it how it resonates for your situation, that you do have a soul family that you well, it's literally the soul family on the soul level and 5D level, right? Your guides and even souls of your like actual soul family, soulmates, right, that we come with, they are around, they are supporting you. Could be your ancestors, of course, your guides, your angels, right? They are around, and they, like, some of them could literally be incarnated and be somewhere in your environment. And it's important to acknowledge that, to appreciate these people. And I'm sure you can tell. I mean, I can tell if somebody is that, sometimes I'm calling them angels for myself, right? But really it's part of that soul family where there's somebody was important, sometimes less, and sometimes important support for you just when you need it, as you need it. Doesn't mean they're gonna stay in your life forever, but they're definitely gonna come at the right moment, and you can facilitate that support by calling them in, by praying, by meditating, by asking for that support if it's necessary for you. And then whichever form it's gonna come in, just keep your eyes open. That's why it's called the cosmic game of hide and seek, right? That you need to have the eyes to see that. And it could be subtle language, but it will be the language you understand for sure. It actually reminds me of a great book. I haven't read it for years, but I used to, like, I literally have read it like 7 times by Bernard Werber. He's a French author, and he's written quite a few books on esoterics, and it's like a modern take, or more technology take on the philosophy of life. Like, has a lot of stuff about space and other galaxies in one of the books, but it's so interestingly intervened into the modern society that it makes it, it makes it sound like a true story, like a documentary, rather than necessarily fiction. That's how he writes it, and it's so magical. Even before I was on this journey, and I've been doing all the work, all the more conscious work of finding out, all this kind of spiritual things about my origins, about finding my philosophy about the nature of the world, the galaxies, afterlife, all that stuff. I enjoyed his books so much. Intuitively, I was drawn to them. And one of the most famous, and my most favorite books of his, is The City of Angels. I think that's what it's called in English. It's written in French, and I have read it in French. I have read it in Russian as well. Not in English, but I'm sure that it exists in English if it exists in Russian. So you can look it up, and it gives you an interesting take on how angels work, or spirit guides work. They give you stories of specific people, like throughout their life, from their birth to their death and what happens afterwards, different levels or grades of entities, and what comes of us, how we are graded or judged, based on our life, and what we've learned, all of those things. Karma, all that stuff comes in there. And then what happens afterwards, right? Depending on, the grading and the outcome. It's very interesting. It's written in a fun way, so you may want to check it out. Okay, back to the reading. So for masculines, wow, literally stuck like that in my table. Never did it before. Ooh, memento mori, there may not be a someday. Yeah, I think I've seen it maybe a week ago for masculines, and it's another reminder that it's time to act, baby. Remember in the months of May and even beginning of June, there was like this phase where masculines were, getting their thoughts together and figuring out what is happening in their life, what is working, what is not working. And now is definitely a phase where they're asked to act on it with all the information that they received. What's the energy like for divine feminines right now? I'll put the name of the book in the comments below for those who are interested. Ace of Pentacles, how about that? What about masculines? Wow, Death and the Devil. And actually, if you can see, this is also referring actually to the concept of death. It has this skeleton from, like the skull from the Day of the Dead, theme that is celebrated in Mexico. Memento mori is also about death, right? Like instant death, something like that. It's the whole concept of death and rebirth. And that's in the tarot, it's definitely the death card, and has devil here as well. So interesting. I'm gonna pull some clarifiers for that. What do we have for the connection energy? And don't forget to like the video, to subscribe to my channel, and to add a comment below the video if you like what I'm doing, if you like my content. I really appreciate it, guys, because it helps me circulate this message with those who need to hear it. Okay, for the connection, we've got the Hierophant. Lovely. Right, let me pull clarifiers. Let's clarify the Ace of Pentacles. Oh, Lovers in reverse. Let's clarify the Death and the Devil for the masculines. The energy is pumping through me, and I'm like definitely passing it on to the cards. Let's clarify the Hierophant. Cards are literally flying. Let's clarify the Hierophant. All right, so divine feminines, you got the Ace of Pentacles and Lovers in reverse. So what I see here is, at this part of your journey, you are consciously deciding to move away from the whole love drama and trying to get to a certain place according to your expectations or your plan or your vision of how you see your relationship with divine masculine moving. You are putting that aside. And for a few of you, I'm getting that if you were looking for a soulmate connection, or there was somebody in your surrounding that was, a candidate, a potential, that you've decided not to pursue it at this time and focus on the new opportunity that you have for your own well-being and happiness. It can be literally about work and some business opportunity. It can be just a project of interest. It can be new knowledge of how you can lift up yourself, and that could be different ways. Pentacles usually speak about something more practical, so it could be connected with your body, with your health, with maybe even your style, the way you look. Take it how it resonates, but it's definitely something about lifestyle and taking care of yourself, or seeing an opportunity of how you can get, maybe with somebody's help, right? We're talking about the soul family here. For some of you, somebody will come along that will open your eyes to like new information of, taking care of yourself and investing in yourself. That's important, right? And not spending too much energy on, trying to balance out this relationship that, kind of is and isn't at the same time. It's an interesting vibe. For masculines, we have the devil and the death, clarified by Six of Wands in reverse. Yeah, so this is divine masculine seeing that their old definition of victories is old, is outdated. It's not gonna serve them anymore. And they can tell themselves all they want, that they are on top of their game, that everything's going great in their life. But deep down, they know that this is not true. It's a manipulation. It's something that is easier to deal with for themselves, to tell themselves that story and to tell that story to other people who have expectations, right? Or just simply who are around and would be judging one way or another. So it's just easier to say like everything's fine. But this death card is bringing in major changes. And I love that in this deck there is this white horse. So to me it's bringing in some new innocent energy, some new understanding of authenticity, and that power will almost like blow off the lid of this illusion and imaginary victory, or pretend victory, pretend success that masculines may be wanting to keep it around, to stay in this devil energy, right? It's very tempting to look good for others, right? But this is gonna blow up the lid on that concept and show them that the truth will out, first of all, and second of all, that it's only a temporary remedy, it's an illusion, and in the long run it's only going to make things more painful, because you'll see what you desire, the difference, the contrast between what you desire and what is actually out there, and also the pain in your heart is going to grow, because what you are trying to tell people is not true, and deep down divine masculines definitely know that. So that will work against their heart chakra and also solar plexus. That's what I'm getting here. Okay, and for the connection we have the Hierophant, clarified by 8 of Cups and 10 of Wands. Yeah, so there is this point, the twins are looking at the figures of authority in society, and they have a strong desire to walk away from whatever they are being imposed. Whatever truth is not their inner truth, but whatever they are getting told by someone, quote unquote, in charge, they are not accepting it. And at this point, they're seeing that sometimes those words created a burden for them. They made them feel guilty or ashamed or obligated. And for other cases, it just was a bunch of BS. It just wasn't true, and it created false concepts for the for the worldview, for the life story that we're building for ourselves. So this is like that healthy realization that that's not gonna work going forward, and it's not the way to do it. It's good to acknowledge it, that it creates impact in our lives. Whatever those figures of authority are in your life, whether it's some celebrities you're following, I don't know, maybe even scientists, historians, whatever, TV figures, or it could be, of course, literally like teachers, could be bosses, right? It could be parents for a lot of people, maybe even somebody who you consider in your life, who you consider more experienced and more senior, maybe even a friend, right? Who you think like, oh, they've been through a lot, they must know. Sometimes the way the person presents themselves, look at this Hierophant, his attire, his posture, right? Sometimes the way people present themselves makes us listen, right? And it's not necessarily that they want to deceive us, right? So it's not even to say that any and all figures of authority, they are the bad guys, right? It's just that as twin flames, we're definitely supposed to follow our inner truth, our intuition, our heart, and not what other people are telling us just because it's XYZ, somebody in authority. Even if it's, I'm getting for some, it's even like political figures. Somebody that you've trusted because you have a relationship with that person through their political activity, maybe with the political party, It could be, of course, quite literal, like in Hierophant themselves is a priest figure, right? So it could be a person of religion as well. So take it how it resonates, but at this point, what we're seeing is the twins are freeing themselves from feeling pressured and obligated through the words that they're hearing, that that they've received from figures of authority. Starting to see the truth for what it is. Let's get some guidance from the angel therapy. First of all, for Divine Feminine. What's the guidance? We got 2 cards. Mediumship. You have the natural ability to connect with departed loved ones. Yeah, it's another nudge to the soul family. And I was mentioning ancestors actually, right? So for a lot of you, it's, oftentimes one of our guides is our ancestor. Or if not, at least we have our ancestors around who can come in and help us at the moment of need. So maybe that's your story, and just remember that you can call on them, even if you don't know their names, who they are, right? You can still call them as part of your soul family. And then we have, you are a powerful light worker. It's a beautiful card. It is safe for you to be powerful. Your spiritual power brings great blessings in loving service to the divine. Yes. And to me, that actually speaks a lot to the last concept that I mentioned, that you have your own truth. You should live by it. You're a powerful, divine being. And, this is between you and God, right? Your truth. It doesn't have to do with any other figures of influence, like public figures of influence. It's still up to you to discern what's where. And your highest truth will definitely lie in your heart, and it will be between you and the divine. Okay, for the masculines, let's get a card of advice for divine masculines watching, and for cross watchers taking a peek. Heal away addictions. Yeah, you see, we just had the devil card here. It's time to let go of behaviors that are blocking you from your heart's desires. Ask Archangel Raphael to help you with this healing. Yeah, Archangel Raphael is the healing archangel. Let go of behaviors that are blocking you from your heart's desire. Remember, I was just talking about this concept where there's something that is like a truth that DMs are telling themselves, or what it seems like on the surface, what their life is like, and what is happening, and that it's creating that heartache for them. The contrast, right? That's what we're talking about. So that could be an addiction easily. So addiction doesn't have to be literally, drinking or smoking or overeating. It can be addiction to certain ideas, or to telling an easier version of the truth, right? It can be on any level, but healing is required. And sometimes, actually, if there is somebody watching who is trying to overcome an addiction, you don't know how to do that, especially with those, more fine-tuned concepts, work on the healing part. And that will help you automatically work on the addiction, because you will be able to deal with that, with whatever the root cause was of that addiction, right? This is like a coping mechanism for the pain inside. If you're working on healing the pain, then you won't need that coping mechanism anymore. Or at least it will be a lot more obvious for you how to get rid of it. Okay, I hope this has been good for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you all, and I'll be back with more readings very, very soon. Bye, everyone.